hopefully everyone had a good holiday weekend and we're ready to take it in for a landing, right, Rob?
That's the plan. We're coming in for a landing.
All right,
That's
good.
right.
Good. So, Rob,
Nice
quick question, Rob, because a lot of times and I want to get your lead on this. So even obviously everyone doesn't have to speak, and hopefully we have to speak very little. That it's already been kind of described and vetted with the council. But as Peter said, we'll field those questions as they come. But is there always going to be a reasonable opportunity to be heard for the public there as part of the council meeting?
There'll be public comment that starts the meeting. That's usually the first 35 to 45 minutes of the meeting. They moved commendations off of mornings over to Tuesdays because those used to eat up a lot of a day. And on this one, I would expect there's going to be a fair amount of public commenters because we have a public noise ordinance. We have a couple other things that are up there that could fully eat up that hour, that first hour of the day. If somebody's going to have an issue with here, they can bring it up at that time.
So I think since some of the team members may not have an opportunity then to speak after, I think maybe in that morning when it kicks off, at a minimum, if they get the 1 or 2 minute opportunity to speak, they should speak and introduce them, talk about just quickly that they're part of our team and their role and and their support for the project in the morning session then before the item comes up.
If you guys want to do that, it's always your prerogative to do that. So if you want to do that, go ahead and register as a speaker ahead of time. That way they'll have saved you a spot.
So real quick, this is West Tampa CDC. So we have logged in. So we actually have been, we'll be speaking there as during the public comment session. So we've already signed up to speak on behalf of the project. Now, you should know that this is going to become the one item 20 and 21. So it might not be to the afternoon that this particular project is going to be heard. And there's a lot of other things that's going to be going on during that particular day. They got a lot of things packed up in there, especially with the tenant rights bill that's going on. But I think pretty much all of the city councils or have some people that's going to have some issues, speaking to deal with all those issues even before you get up. Basically give you cover when you do get up, to show that all that stuff that you had is not true.
No, thank you. I think that's a great point. So I think in the beginning, whoever from the team should want to speak there, that would be the time, because you're right. Then the item's not going to come up till much later in the day, and hopefully we get a time certain for that 1:30. So right after lunch. But everyone can introduce themselves and just talk a little bit on their support there on the project side. And then we'll hopefully field the questions, when the official item comes up.
Perfect. So I guess if you want to speak, if you could just shoot me an email and just say, hey, I want to speak, and I'll facilitate signing up for that morning session.
Right.
Perfect. Good deal. And that'll set the tone for the day. So we'll wait to hear back from Rob on the time certain. But again, we have a PowerPoint put together. The plan is to briefly run through it, give City Council a brief overview. Obviously, Rob's been meeting with them, and they've heard about this project for a long time. Of course, they were invited to the CDA events and so on. So ideally, it's going to go through without much issue. But again, this was more of an informative call. So happy to answer any questions.
Well, Pete, I just want to know this official, make this official from the community side of the table. We're so happy that we was actually able to engage on this project at the top level. Oftentimes, when developers come to the community doesn't come at the decision-making level, at this level right here. This is truly a community-driven process that allows the community to be part of the project, and that's almost unheard of. So that's the other thing we can't lose trace of, is the fact that it was so connected with making sure the community had a voice at the table. That's what's different about a lot of projects that's being done. Most projects focus on bricks and mortar. They don't focus on the people. And this, in addition to the fact that you got a good team, what's making it different than any other thing that's out there, the fact that this is community driven. And I want to thank everybody that's part of this team for making it happen. Because from the community perspective, finally, we win. We get something that we can say we brought home the bacon. So thank you so much for giving us an opportunity from the West Tampa CDC side of the table for being part of this collaborative.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for being a great teammate.
Thank you, sir.
I do want to just talk to the group about a matter of procedure, just because we went to talk to the CAC this past week, and Peter was there, and we agreed to make some minor changes for inclusion, et cetera. Those documents had already been uploaded. So there's a memo that's coming from me today, which I'm working on this moment, that will have the updated documents attached to it, and we'll be replacing the ones that are in Sire with have those minor changes in them. So just when you come up and see and that, hey, there's going to be this, they're going to talk about this memo, it's to be replace the previous documents that were uploaded last week with the updated ones that we did with the CAC edits that you guys agreed to on Thursday. Just that's a timing issue, and that's how we handle, we don't call it a walk-on, but it's basically an update and a replace, but you have to attach a memo of why. And again, that's just a matter of procedure, and everything's good. Just when you walk up there, you're like, hey, what do you mean it's getting replaced? It's not. It's being replaced with the documents that we approved on Thursday.
Understood.
So,
okay.
Just didn't want anybody to get nervous, okay? Because it's just a procedure issue. Just for your benefit, I added about 4 or 5 slides at the beginning. That is the equivalent to my memo, which just talks about what is the CBA, what is the LDA. This is the first of those other pieces. And then I'm going to, I'll finish off with the CBA, and then I'm going to introduce you to go ahead and talk about the CBA and the process, and that'll be kind of the handoff to you. But I put them as the first 4 or 5 slides under at the front end of your presentation on the SharePoint.
Perfect. Appreciate that. All right. Any other questions, concerns, comments? If not, I'll see everybody Thursday.
Yeah, and thank you again, everybody, for coming together. And like I said, and it's good to hear, the fact that, it took us a little while to get here, but as Michael said, this has been a real community-centered process. Obviously, we had a great team assembled, but this is a very, I think it's going to be a very impactful project, to go into, like, I guess, part 2 of what we were able to accomplish there with West River. But this one is even more, because we assembled a team from the beginning and work with the community hands-on from the beginning. So we're excited about that, and we're ready to get it going. I'll actually be there. I'm going to get there on Wednesday. So I'll be there, the day before to plan with Peter for everything.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that, Albert. So very, very exciting to get to this point, everyone, and couldn't have done it without you. So really looking forward to bringing it home.